Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a surprise cast, something I really wasn't planning on doing, but I kind of decided to do last minute when I was talking with a few of my friends here who play the Team Fortress 2 video game 6v6. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, why would you ever want to watch sixes? Why would you ever cast sixes? I thought you were a filthy Highlander main. And you'd probably be right. But I don't know why I'm doing this, just to support some friends, right? So we're going to have a lot of fun here. We're going to be watching Sunshine, which you're probably pretty familiar with if you play sixes, but unless you, if you're just like one of those Highlander people that you really only pay attention, you probably only remember this from Season 15. I don't believe it was played 16 or 17. It's not played this season. It might have been played Season 16. I don't remember. To be frank, but we have six players on each team in the server, so we will just be waiting for them to figure out what's going on. When we get those ready up symbols going, it looks like the Baddies have readied up, and we're just waiting for Dot Crying. Will also be known as I'm Sorry. So these are two pretty solid sixes teams now. To be completely honest, I don't follow ESEA just as much as I do Highlander. But I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for Zoidy. I'm doing this for American. But I was doing a little bit of research, and there are two teams that are actually doing really well so far this season. And actually, let me see if I can pull up a little bit about these two teams in case you're interested to see who you're going to be watching. So anyway, this is I'm Sorry. They're 6-0 right now, as you can see right there. Wow, so fancy in open. Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job so far. Their closest game was against Gamer Sleeves, 5-4. They have a 3-4 against the Space Ghost team as well, but pretty much otherwise, 5-1, 4-0, 5-0, 5-1, doing really well. And this game right now is sure to be awesome. Their roster here, Smiles and Boar are the scouts, and I've heard that that Boar is a hard carry for these guys right now. And actually, you know what? Oh, no, it sounded. Honestly, it sounded like there was a rollout happening. But anyway, for our pocket here, we got Crab F. Romer is American. Shout out my boy. The demo is Pro Creative, who is a scary person to play against. I could say probably just from playing lobbies. Nothing too fancy in terms of my sixes experience. And then Brule is the medic. And actually, Smiles, American, and Brule are actually all on the same UGC Highlander team. So, I mean, UGC Highlander, right? That's where all the great gamers go to play. Who cares about this ESEA stuff? They don't have medals, man. They don't have fancy little medals and badges to wear. And as for the Baddies, who I also named Zoidy and the Weeaboos, as per Zoidy's request, are 6-1 right now. So they played another game that I'm Sorry hasn't yet played. So still doing well. Have picked up 6 wins. Their only loss so far was on Snakewater. They lost 3-2 against Egg Salad Dressing. I gotta say, man, who the heck are these teams? Egg Salad Dressing? What does that even mean? I'm gonna be frank. I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm still just waiting for people to ready up, but let's get the Baddies. And the Baddies roster looks like this. So you scouts, you have Ether, it's Ether, Dr. Zoidy as the scouts. Dr. Zoidy, a filthy Highlander main, such as myself. Pocket is Mirrorman. Romer is Kryptonite. Demo is Exile, and Medic is Boog. And doing really well. 6-1. These are two really good teams so far. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here because I mean, American's team. I'm sorry. It sounds weird. It sounds like I'm actually apologizing. And actually, there go a couple players from I'm sorry as we speak. So maybe we aren't as close to as the start time as I assumed. But anyway, if you do follow sixes, that's a fun little thing. I'm Highlander man myself. I'm Sniper man myself, and I'm quite awful at sixes, to be honest. But it's one of those little things. That gigantic part of TF2 that is the real esport here, you know? That's what people forget, is sixes is the dominant game mode. And I'm saying that as a Highlander scrub myself. Like it just makes so much more sense, you know? It's so much more well developed than Highlander in terms of its meta and everything like that. And it honestly provides for a lot of interesting gameplay, so I'm excited to see how these two teams end up matching up because, to be honest, my money is on I'm sorry. I actually don't have any money on them. I wish I did, but I actually believe that they're probably going to take this. I think my prediction was like a 5-2 or something like that. If we even get to 5 full rounds, but Sunshine is one of those maps that often seen it go all the way to the max caps. Not too many. At least from my own experience, you know, stalemates happen, but it's easy enough to, right at the mid, that you can kind of secure your team a good place to push into second. It's just such a large map, at least, you know, in my opinion. The mid is pretty big. It's tall too. I mean, you got the clock tower up at the top and bell tower, whatever you want to call it, and like there's a lot to it, you know, so. It's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting because the DM over on the I'm sorry side, I think outmatches I'm sorry. Just sorry. The DM on the I'm sorry side outmatches the Baddies. Zoidy's a really great scout. I actually don't know too much about Ether myself, but I've heard that Boar and Smiles are quite the pair of scouts, and a scary one at that. And oh, setup classes are going live soon. I'm going to cut myself up. I'm going to drop this overlay here. I'm going to go out on our first mid. Taking a look at Exile here on the first rollout. And there we go. Matches live. Taking a look at our demo comparison and who's going to get there first. That's the first thing everyone's looking for. And it looks like Exile actually has the advantage there. It looks like he's running the booties while Procreative is laying down with some pipes. And I mean, the good thing about the booties is you get that extra 25 health, but you also get a better overheal up to 300, so you rival more like a soldier. So good damage already being put down by I'm sorry right in the beginning. A couple players on the Baddies going down low on health, but Boar is actually going to get knocked down to about 30 health here. Meatball Manny 2000, as you see on your screen. A little bit of a fight going on right now, but the Baddies kind of have control over the midpoint with Crab F going down, and actually Mirror Man's going to take out Smiles as well. So that's 2 picks right now for the Baddies. Zoidy is chasing Boar out. He's low down on health. Zoidy is going to go down to American, but Kryptonite's going to follow up with a frag to take him down. Brule going down to 6 health, but just getting her Uber in time. Going to pop it on her demo, who's also going to force Boog. So it looks like going down right now is Boar, and that mid is going to go in the favor of the Baddies, but they also had enough players to contest second as well, and they're going to take it pretty easily. But they got to be careful. Brule is really far behind and just kind of got caught off guard there. So she's going to go down. There's just going to be one person up and a spawner. American is up, and it looks like Boar is the last person there. American's going to go down. There's going to be a fight on the point here, but pretty easily a 3-1 is going to take the round there, and the Baddies are going to go up 1-0. So pretty decisive there by them. So maybe I spoke too soon saying that their DM was was not as strong as their counterparts because, I mean, there they go, just taking the first mid cleanly. So again, watching Exile on his demo out, he's going to be a lot faster than Procreative here, so he's going to be able to stop him and push him away from his team, but actually Smiles was there to push him back, but goes down to Ether, who's able to help his demo man out. A nice air shot there. I couldn't see who that was that actually hit it, but American's going to get hit in the air as he goes down, and so does Boar. So we have another mid here that's just completely dominated by the Baddies. Brulee's going to go down. Procreative is down too. That's a full wipe with Smiles being a respawner. So he's on his way out, but that's a ×2 already going in. Smiles a little too far forward, so looks like he might go down here as well. The Uber gets popped off into last as second gets capped. ×3 going down, and that is going to be the second round here. So if I could look at the timer of how far we're in, I'd have to say we're probably only a few minutes in here, and we've already seen the 2-0 for the Baddies, so absolutely showing their dominance so far on these first two mids. And we're going to take a look at Procreative here on this next one. Going down pretty low on his health for his rollout, 52 health, taking a quick chip shot over there by Exile, but they're in a little bit of a better position. Procreative waiting to get healed by his medic, and there he goes. Kryptonite's going to take out American from the start. Crab-F going in, not able to take out the soldier for the Baddies, actually dying to Ether, who's going to help him out. Brulee's going to go down to Exile, and we got another really, really strong mid on our hands here by the Baddies. Trying to escape right now is Smiles. He does look like he's going to get out, so not as devastating as their last few, but still not the way you want that mid to go. They probably want to think about maybe going more passive at the start or something, because right now, as it stands, because they're losing their medic on almost every mid exchange, actually American is up on Spy and takes out Exile, but they're losing their med on almost every mid exchange, and it's kind of making it a lot easier for the Baddies to get in and just cap second and last. So maybe gotta regroup, take a pause here or something like that, and just figure out what they need to do to like why they're getting crushed so bad on these mids. So so as we say that, we're actually going to go into our half here, and a quick 3-0. I mean, not at all, like not even in the slightest what I was expecting to see happen here. Like, yeah, if they're going to go up 3-0, I thought it was at least going to be a contested 3-0, but I mean, let's see if we got some logs, actually. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with that. But Vriction, I actually did ask Mime if he wanted to cast, but it was really spur of the moment, and he said he didn't have the time to. So, Mime Bread is throwing the video game right now. So it looks like we've got a switch of the sides as well. Up on the red team now are the Baddies, while I'm Sorry is going to be it's going to be on the blue team.
The control point is being captured. Alert. The control point is being alert. The control point is being contested.
And no, it doesn't look like trying to get some statistics here for you guys. Everyone loves the fat damage stats and the kill stats and everything like that. I wanna bring that to you guys. I wanna show you what's up. And there we go. Alright, better late than never, right? That's what they say, right? So here are our stats for the first half here. You could already see, like, just completely dominated. Like, American put out a lot of damage. She went 3 and 6, but 512 DPM is still a huge number. He does almost double anyone else on his team there, but Only 5 frags. 5 total frags on the side of I'm sorry. Whereas, like, I don't even want to do the quick math here. Actually, I'm going to do it anyway. Looks like 30 frags? No, that can't be right. Oh, no, that's 30 frags. So they're getting out fragged right now 30-5, and I could have just looked right up the top there. 30-5! The damage is still pretty far off just in a percentage sense, but I mean, this is insane. They're absolutely tearing apart here. I just can't believe that damage per minute that we're seeing too. 512 from American. Kryptonite is the next one up with 486. But the Scouts getting in on the action as well. Ether and Zoidy around 250 each. Smiles and Boar not really able to contest. I actually want to make sure that is Boar. Yeah, that is Boar. All these people and their damn aliases, right? But, I mean, I don't know right now. I mean, I can understand why we're having a little bit of a longer half right now. When you're down 3-0, you clearly need to talk things over with your team and figure out what the heck you need to do to not throw, I guess is the word of the day here. Are they throwing? Are they just not prepared? Did they not expect the DM that they were ready to throw out there? It just seems like right now they're still playing too aggressive at the mid. They're dying a lot. They're just these first 3 rounds, like after the first 2, when you saw that you really weren't contesting much at mid, you know, you think maybe you take things a little slower the next time because you don't want to lose your medic right away. But Brule managed to stay alive a little bit longer, but still goes down. So, you know, maybe a little bit more protection for her, something else to really make sure, because I don't think actually they've even popped off an Uber. Oh no, they did pop off one. I know, I'm aware of, and that's it. So Brule has only popped off 1 Uber, and Boog has popped off 1 in each round because he hasn't had time to build the second one. But yeah, that's I mean that's just a stark contrast. 30-5 are the frags, and I mean that's absurd. So definitely taking their time to figure out what is going on. And I mean, if you're the Baddies right now, you're feeling good. You know, I mean, I don't know how they feel in terms of like divisional placement and against a team like this, like who they're better than. But either way, if you come out 3-0 on a team that is 6-0 right now, I mean they're 6-1, which is no joke, and they've won 6 straight. They lost their first game, and they've won 6 in a row after that. The Baddies have. But when you come out just throwing like that, like throwing down, not throwing the game. When you cap 3 points that quickly, like, I don't know. You gotta be flexing right now. You gotta be stroking it right now. So hopefully that'll continue in terms of confidence and momentum for them. But hopefully not turn into any kind of cockiness or anything like that, because they still have good DM. Like I'm sorry, still has some solid DM on their side. American, I mean, you saw the damage stats, put over 500 DPM out. It just seems like, and he actually had 3 of the 5 kills for his team. Procreative, the demo, and Boar were not able to get on the board in terms of frags. Crabf got 1, and Smiles got 1 as well. But I mean, with the amount of damage American is putting out, more than anyone else in the server, you know, something's got to give there. Maybe play around him and you know, tank him on a lot more heals, because I mean, I believe he is. Yeah, American is the roamer, so I mean his heals are going to be less, and he's going in for extra bombs and just trying to put out the damage as much as possible. But I don't know, man. I mean, how much is there to say about a 3-0 roll that we just witnessed, you know? There's only a finite number of things that you can try to analyze when one team just comes out and drops 30 frags to the enemy gamer's 5, you know? I mean, even Kryptonite, the roamer for... I mean, okay. Granted, everyone on the Baddies stayed alive a lot longer, so they got a lot more heals. But American put out 512 damage per minute to 93 total heals received. So 2,128 damage, only received 93 heals. And that's probably because he was going in for suicides. He got his buff, and he went in. But maybe a little less suicide plays from him, and just a little bit more passive, and use that DM that he's clearly throwing down with, and I don't know.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Oh, overage damage from the backstabs. That's a good point, Gamma. I'm actually not sure about that, but something to look into. But we are going live again here, so I'm gonna cut that thought off. We're back for another round, and excited to see whether or not the Baddies can keep their momentum going, or if I'm Sorry is gonna be able to contest here. So we're seeing a little bit of a better mid from them so far. No one has gone down yet, which is a stark improvement from before. But as I say that, American actually goes down, and Procreative's pretty low down on health. But Exile does go down, so that's going to be no demo for the Baddies. Crabf's really low on health. He's going to go down. Smiles at 50 health. Ether on 50 as well. So whoever's going to be able to clean up on the rest of the frags. But Brule looks to be smart enough to kind of kite and go out a little bit. But actually, as I say that, here is an Uber out of Boog. He's got to use it to just get back. And I wonder, it looks like Kryptonite might go in for a bomb to force Brule's Uber, and gets a good rocket onto her, forces it out. So it's going to be no advantage on the side of I'm Sorry. But, I mean, they won a mid. This is already like 100 times better than what they were doing the last 3 rounds. So hopefully a sign of things to come. We're going to see some more TF2 on our hands. Right now, only about a 15% ad in Boog's hands. It looks like already as well, I'm Sorry, is putting in a lot of players and contesting hard. Actually, Boog goes down, trying to get in on Brule right now. Is the rest... Oh my god, Kryptonite comes in and takes out Brule. That was a long fight. Yeah, the rest of the Baddies just kind of came in to try to sack for Brule, but I'm wondering if it was really worth it right now, because there are not too many people left alive for the Baddies, but I guess they are going to get the respawns in time to contest. So it was only Zoidy up, and he was playing Engineer for a little while, but he's going to be able to. And now about a 20% ad in the favor of the Baddies. It probably won't amount to much unless they're getting really aggressive. And actually, yep, they're going to go right out. And I like the play here. As long as they've got someone watching last, they know they had a pretty good wipe of players over on the dot crying side. I'm Sorry. God, I hate saying their team name. It just sounds like I'm apologizing to the stream for some weird reason. But yeah, already going out and taking the second point are the Baddies, and that's gonna help them out. Obviously, anytime you cap a point, that's probably gonna help you out. Am I right? So getting into aggressive and cafes, actually 4 players from the Baddies right now, and it looks like they're gonna want to take their Uber that way. Brule is gonna be up on hers, however. So it's going to be just a fight to see who's going to have to use their Uber first. And Brule gets scared by Mirror Man, going to use her Uber. So right now, having a better Uber are the Baddies. And American is actually the only player down. Zoidy goes down to Smiles here. Looks to be wanting to clean up on some more damage. Takes out Exile as well. He's chasing down Ether, who's going to get a pack after taking out Crab F. But seems to be better in the hands of I'm Sorry right now, and they're going to be able to defend this first mid point. and maybe try to get aggressive on second with Boar actually already trying to take the point. So Procreative putting some stickies down in lobby. We're going to see just a good old-fashioned push into last here. Already actually Smiles getting a lot of time down, and he wins? What? How? How do you let that happen? You have 6 players alive, and they let a single scout take the point. What? So, I'm gonna update the score here, but that's a 3-1 now. All right, so the Baddies are back. I'm sorry is back. I'm just a little bit in awe of what we just saw here. So here we go. We're gonna get ready on our next mid here. Merriman taking down American off the bat. Health low for Procreative, and Smile's gonna be low down too. But Zoidy and Merriman are pretty low down over on the Baddies side. As the fight continues, Exile is going to go down, so that's no demo power over for the Baddies. But with both soldiers down over for the Baddies, sorry for Crying. Oh my God, these silly names, man. These silly names. Actually, here is an Uber out of Boog and crew. It looks like an Uber is going to get contested back with Brule using her. Smile's going to take down Zoidy, and the Baddies are just content to try to back out. Actually, no, they're not backed out. They're way too far in. American's going to clean up Boog, and Crabf's going to help his soldier buddy out to take out Ether Kryptonite's going to go down as well. So it's just Mirrorman and Exile here, and they're just going to be reserved to go back to their last point. So a complete reversal of what we had been seeing, and it looks like that slower mid play is helping the helping Crying. I'm just going to call him Crying instead of, I'm sorry, Procreative, a nice pipe there. Wait. Did Brule go down? Oh no! Oh, Brule did go down. Crabf only on 13 health is the remaining player, preventing a complete wipe. There it is, Ether taking him down, although Smiles and Boar are back up to try to contest. Not going to be enough, obviously, to stop the cap on mid, although second was pretty much half capped. But now with Boog with a good 40% add, they're going to be able to really get something done, and actually American up on the cheeky spy play. He's got to be careful. Exile was lurking about, but here he comes. Disguised as a scout right now, and looks like he might get a pick. No, turning around at just the right moment there was Boog, so the suicide spy play not going to work out there. He's going to have a 10-second respawn from this moment too. So 2 players down right now for Crying as we come into a last push by the Baddies. Zoidy going to be able to get one. A couple players down as well. Procreative, Brule, and Smiles are all down. Only 2 people left up. That's going to be American and Boar. We're actually going to do a good job so far of fending off the point. American's going to go down to Boog with an arrow, and Zoidy's going to clean up with help from his medic on Boar and take the round. So now we've got a 4-1. So really just a good play there. Not panicking as soon as they got in a little bit of trouble with the Baddies. They kept their head on straight. They got a play onto Brule and able to take her out, and then just completely reversed it, a complete 180 back through the other sides of the map and take the next round. So with a 4-1 on our hands, this could be match point depending on what ends up happening on this mid. We're still just watching Exile lob some pipes over. Health not great for Brule, who's down to about 70, and Boog actually manages to kite a few rockets there. But the Baddies still in, really aggressive. Exile is going to go down, but Kryptonite is in deep, and Zoidy is actually going to clean up on a frag as well. So Brule's going to go down, so they trade their roamer and their demo to get in really deep here against that Crying. They're going to leave their scout Ether to cap as we come into what looks to be the final push of the game here. No one left alive to contest, and that is going to be it. We have a 5-1. It honestly, like, as we came out onto that next mid, I really thought we were going to see like a comeback, like a 3-3 go down, and something really kind of develop, but it just turned back into that roll that we had saw. that we had seen, rather. And it's going to end 5-1 for the Baddies. It's just... I mean, they did a really good job on that fourth mid, and when they ended up... They just played passively. You know, they got their picks when they needed it, and then they just swallowed with their Uber, and they were able to do the same thing on the fifth mid, but they weren't able to keep the momentum in going into last. They lost their medic on the push there, which allowed the Baddies to go out, take second, take mid, and at that point, with Brule going down again, they were just able to roll through, and then we just saw more of the same on that mid. I just don't think that Dot Crying was ready for the just severe aggression that the Baddies were throwing down, and that just kind of led to it. They just couldn't keep their medic alive for that. Let's see if we can get those logs up one more time.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Which seems to be, yep, it has the full everything there. So here are the full stats. And the DPM is going to look a little bit different here. American, I'm assuming that Gamma's belief is correct, because not able to nearly keep up the same damage per minute that he had in the last one, probably because of that spy backstab. But Procreative bringing it back went from 1 frag or 0 frags, I can't remember, to 10 and 430 DPM in the next one. So a lot more of a factor. But the real story is there. I mean, Brule 8 deaths as a medic. Boog only died 3 times. So I mean, that's when that happens. I mean, it's not going to be a fun time when your medic can't stay alive, and that just really seems to be the reason, the biggest reason why they lost all those mids is when they started losing the players. The Baddies' aggression just kept them, pushing forward and kept them just moving, and they didn't have the players or really anyone to pick up the fraggers that were chasing down Brule, and that's going to be a rough game for them. The frags end up 67-37, so a lot different than 30-5, obviously, just in terms of like sheer percentage, but they're still going to walk away with 24 more frags, which in a quick game like that is actually pretty big. Damage is actually going to go over onto the I'm sorry side, which is puzzling to say the very least, but it just looks like people weren't able to clean up on the damage, and with Boog always alive, like dying 3 times in 5 rounds, he was always able to keep the heal beam down. And actually, I wish I could see the amount of healing. GG, delete Sunshine from the rotation. There we go. There's Crab F. But yeah, not able to really see the total amount of healing done by each medic, but you'd have to assume that it's far, far, far in the Baddies' favor. But now the Baddies improved to 7-1. I'm sorry, falls to 6-1. But maybe with a chance now to figure things out. Their 6-game win streak has ended. I'm sorry, the Baddies' now 7-game win streak is going to continue, and we should see some more good stuff from these two teams. Further down the road here, it looks like gone from the server. It is done. It is closed. But that was a pretty quick cast here. I was expecting to be a little longer, just in terms of what you'd expect for a 5CP map. But then again, maybe that's just my Highlander bias coming in because of how terrible 5CP is for Highlander and just how slow it is. But pretty convincing win there by the Baddies, able to pick up the win 5-1 over I'm sorry. Improved to 7-1. I'm sorry falls to 6-1, and yeah, that's about it, guys. Wow, that was a 22-minute game and like under half-hour cast. So thanks a lot for joining me. I don't believe there's going to be another one going on tonight. Tomorrow I am trying to see, I might be casting another open game, but I'll have to find that out. If you're interested to know when I'm going live and doing some more casts, feel free to hit that follow button and get notified. It should be popping up on the TFTV page as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So big shout out to them and thank you for that. hopefully I'll be able to bring in a friend or something like that for the next one tomorrow if I'm able to end up doing that cast. So you don't have to listen to my boring voice drone out and drone on and everything. But thanks a lot, guys, for listening. Feel free to hit that follow button, and I will catch you on the next cast.